one thing just to make sure. Okay, so, and I can't bring that up anymore. That's fine. Well, I'll just have to talk a little louder. Alright, so Israel and the United States are bombing Iran. Excuse me. Yes. I am uneducated and have no prior context to what is going on, okay, in this. This is just me thinking out loud, okay? There are a couple things that go into this, in my opinion, and just simple thought processes, okay, which are going to be any conflict can be resolved without any type of violence and or loss of human life. That is 100% a fact. It can be done. Now, will it take more time and potential energy and work and I guess coming together than a war? Sure, absolutely. Will it be as profitable as having a war? No, it will not. Will it make you potentially look bad on one or both sides? Absolutely. Which is why I don't believe it will be done. Ever. Because of greed and ego. That's it. That's the whole reason any of this is happening. My thought process on this is if you have, I don't know, maybe, let's say 1,000,000 people that live in Iran, right? Say you got like, I don't know, 10,000 leaders or whatever. My thought process would be, hey, let's all band together with pitchforks and whatever else, go grab these motherfuckers and bring them to wherever the war is happening at. Put them on the front lines and say, hey, you go fight this fucking battle. You wanted it so much, why are you going to sacrifice our lives on something that you feel is necessary? If something has enough urgency, we'll say, to be done, I feel like as a leader, you should take care of it yourself. Knock it off. That's going to happen a lot. Just saying. Stop. Hey. So, in any time that I talk or just sit here and talk, they will do this. Knock it off now. Maybe that's why Hassan did what he did. I'm not sure. That's neither here nor there. And I'm not saying anything Hassan did was right at all in any way. But, getting back, see, they're right back at it. They're right back at it. Knock it off! Sorry. So, as I'm completely, like, scattermined now. But anyways, there's many ways that they could go about this. Which is, maybe, I don't know, one or both parties telling the truth and actually what's going on. That's a possibility. Like, all these, I'm going to go on a little tangent here, but I feel like this is necessary. All the shit in the Epstein files, okay? All that stuff going on. If everybody was honest about it, we would be able to have some type of conclusion, you know, some closure or whatever, and then hold them accountable. But instead, they're going to drag this on for what I think is going to be many years, and then subsequently be founded out, hey, they lied about everything, which is going to make it 10 times worse and make people even more upset. Like, I seen a video last night of a guy that did some stolen valor, said, hey, my face was blown up by the C4 or some shit like that. Come to find out that it actually wasn't. And this guy apologized profusely with an actually decent apology, and you could tell he was being genuine about it. I feel like a lot more people cut him a lot of slack, okay? Now, if these people come out and be honest about all the stuff that they did in regards to Epstein, I feel like, hey, maybe they won't get the most severe, like, wood chipper type capital punishment, but maybe their lives will be spared to hard manual labor for the rest of their existence with us. Okay? Uh, and, with the Charlie Kirk stuff, they're all disingenuous parasites, so obviously they gotta lie. Like, anything, the first thing that they all say, even, for example, Bill Gates was like, oh, I never was even around the guy, essentially. And then, oh, yeah, I was around the guy, but I never did anything pertaining to any type of prostitutes or Russian women. And then now, oh, there was twice that there were 2 Russian females. So inevitably, it's going to come out. And what I was getting to is the Charlie Kirk thing. When he was assassinated with the 308, come to find out they had bomb dogs, essentially, that can sniff out C4 explosives, gunpowder. The ATF uses them a lot, airport security, as well as our military. And I was watching this guy, Valhalla VFTV, something like that. He broke it down a lot better than I can because I'm not educated and don't have a lot of experience in or around the field of that. He broke it down in a way that says, hey, pretty much like quarter mile, half mile away, these dogs can smell these types of things. And I would go as far as to say that even with just the gunpowder, with it being recently fired, that would make it a lot more plausible in my opinion. But I think even with the ammunition in it, it's still going to have gunpowder. Or most guns, okay, I would say at least a 75% probability of firearm owners, I would say 75% of firearm owners do not clean their firearms after every single use. So inevitably, there's still going to be some gunpowder residue all over the fucking thing. In any case, you know what I mean? Just saying. So I think no matter what, these dogs would have been able to find it. And then the FBI comes in and miraculously the firearms found. Which, in the wound that happened on Charlie Kirk was not, in my opinion, not even anything remotely close to a rifle round. Just my subjective opinion. I've shot voluminous, you could say, animals with all different types of cartridges and all different types. Even see that type of stuff, but I had a pretty nice lag spike there. But anyways, regardless, I'm sure it's going to come out that the 308 or the 30-06 that they found, there's going to be nothing that's going to add up via any type of forensic evidence. Even with blood splattering experts coming in or whatever, if he was shot with a 30-06, they're going to have that tent, they're going to look up, and they're going to see blood spattering. Even if you get hit with a freaking baseball bat, there's going to be some type, hard enough, I should say, there's going to be some type of blood spattering, okay? Or hammer or whatever. Now, that hammer's not moving quite as fast as a bullet, but she's still moving a little bit, and there's still going to be some type of forensic evidence. Anyways, we're being lied to about everything. Every single thing. It is, in my opinion, the only reason that Israel would attack Iran. Well, actually, there's a couple reasons for that. One, I'm sure they have viewpoint differences, whether that's religion, political, economic, whatever reasons. That's going to be one. And two is the only other reason is they know they're going to be backed by the United States. And the only reason that I could think of that, like why that would happen, is they got some junk on some people and stuff. It probably isn't even as small as the Epstein files. It's, in my opinion, the only reason the Epstein files is even coming out is they don't even care. That's not even really an issue to them. That's like I said the other day, that's the snowflake that's on top of the iceberg, and then you still have the whole top of the iceberg, and then you still got all the shit that's underneath that you'll never even know. So what they have on these people is so bad, just in my opinion, that like, you see them going out in public, making themselves look like absolute fools. You know what I mean? That they will bow and, yep, we will 100% back you. And this is why I said it comes down to greed and ego. You know? Because these people have such huge fucking egos that they're willing to let hundreds, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, and probably billions, with a B, of people die just so they can look, oh, I did nothing wrong. Oh, I'm still famous and powerful and rich and whatever. They're willing to do all that, I promise you. Every single last one of these types of people. And it is true that with great power comes great responsibility. Look at Kash Patel talking about, oh, look at how the previous guy that ran the FBI was using this private jet for luxury trips just as some type of accommodation for transportation for his personal endeavors, essentially. And sometimes he would use it correctly, maybe, very seldomly, but mostly for leisure, I would say. And then fast forward, I don't know, about a year-ish, you see the FBI director, Kash Patel, going to the Olympics with it, taking his girlfriend on rides to go sing her country songs or whatever. I don't fucking know. I mean, like, you look at these people, and when they first get into power, and then how much they change after a short period of time. And it's all an illusion. That's all it is. Like, I mean, if you want to be, like, really transparent, the police, military, whatever, have a certain type of power because one person or a small group of people tell them they do. And the thing is this is all psychological power. Gosh dang. I don't know if I got nose hair or something, but fuck. It's all psychological power. That's all it is you look at that guy, he has a gun, you know, you can be concealed carrying or like in your appendix or wherever, or you could be open carrying, and they're probably going to try to disarm you as quickly as humanly possible and say, hey, this is for our safety. I have nothing against the police. I really don't. Never really had a reason to call them. I have a couple times. Because I was not in the right state. This is where it's a positive thing for me. Because I was not in the right state of mind, okay? Because I was inebriated on alcohol or whatever. And I knew that in poor judgment, trying to be a sane, sober, moral, prudent fucking person, that I could not make the executive decisions that I needed to make at that time to resolve the issue at hand in the correct manner. So, yes, I picked up my phone and dialed 911 to have somebody come in, a third party, and mediate the conflict that was at hand. Absolutely, I did. And I believe, in my personal opinion and thought processes, that I made the correct decision on that. Probably, most people probably would agree, or say, "Hey, Mr. Cheeks, you're a pussy, or you're just a soy boy neckbeard. That's fine. I don't care." Now, see, that's where I have no problem with the police. But still, with all of our ladders of power, it's still just an illusion, in my opinion, because all the power does come back still to the people. You're the one that produces the GDP. You're the one that produces goods and services. You're the one that maintains the infrastructure. You're the one helping people with medical or whatever. You people, me people, we're just peasants, right? We get our little paychecks, and most people, that is, probably not business owners, but most, or CEOs, but most people go out, work, get half their money taken from the federal government, and let's say it's 50%, and then 45% of it goes back to CEOs, whether because you're buying goods and services, people that mow your lawn, people that deliver your packages, people that produce goods that you buy, such as food or whatever. Your mortgage, the banks, blah, blah, blah. You're just paying all these people all the labor that you got, and your labor is so devalued. You're getting maybe 1%, maybe if you're lucky. I think I figured mine out to be like 0.08% or something like that as I was working, and I was getting like per diem, some little bonus things, and what at the time I thought was a decent wage. It was like 28.70 something, but I was working like 100 hours a week. But I would tell you, I looked at one paycheck and I quit after that because it made me feel fucking disgusting at how much taxes I was paying. It was pretty much whatever I made, cut it in half, damn near. And then not only that, but, I had to pay property tax. There's a million different fucking taxes, okay? This war, we should not be involved in any way. Why? For what? Who gains? Who benefits? Do you, the American people, benefit from this? No. You see, we have things off of all of our coast in Alaska, pretty sure Antarctica, Hawaii, all the coast, Gulf of America, used to be Mexico, among other areas that will let us know if there's anything coming from above, meaning missiles or whatever. Unless somebody has developed some other technologies, which like I said, I'm pretty uneducated, but on the stuff that is out there for public knowledge, I try to do a little bit of research on. So, and we have advanced defenses on these things, and shit's purposely staged pretty much all around our country to intercept these types of issues. So, Iran having any type of bombs or whatever, Russia even, like, why don't we do the same thing about Russia? We're not concerned about it. You ever think of that? We're not concerned about it because we have implemented these things in place as redundancies in case something like that happens. So maybe, this is just me working a theory in my head, maybe Israel doesn't have things implemented in place in case of something like that happening. Just thinking. And they are terrified. So they need us to come in and resolve the issue essentially for them. Right? Because we allow Russia to have it, we allow China to have, oh, well, they're bigger countries. So? Everybody is, like I said, equal as of to one unit. Okay? You look at all these things the same. Exactly the same. You will come to the conclusion that this does not benefit you or anybody in the United States. It only benefits Israel. And why that is, I haven't had enough time to think about, really, or investigate on what is public knowledge. But what you'll find is what is public knowledge isn't always the truth. The most valuable thing in this world is information. You could probably come to that conclusion by just one example, which would be the Epstein guy. Because without the information or blackmail or whatever you want to call it about these people doing egregious things, he has nothing that's valuable. Or the information of the tax loopholes or whatever. Could be, probably not. I'm thinking most of what he did was put hidden cameras, get people with a lot of money in front of those cameras doing things, and hey, gotcha, bitch. Now, what I need is a shite ton of your capital so I can go do things, pretty much, and be invincible. And you're going to keep that on the down low and not tell any of your buddies about it, because if you do, this will hit public knowledge. So, would it be valuable for the United States to tell us the truth about anything? I don't think so. Like, when you, let's put it this way. You yourself are the government, okay? And you have a dog in your house, and in your house you have a lot of valuable and maybe sentimental things that you care a lot about because you worked really hard for them. And this dog, one day you come home, it's trash, tore up everything, okay, in your house. Thousands of dollars, maybe even you had to cry a little bit because you lost something sentimental. Alright, so you buy a cage for this dog. Are you going to train this dog in how to get out of this cage? Probably not. That wouldn't benefit you in any way, would it? No. Would it benefit the dog? You could argue that. It could or couldn't. Then maybe you could say the same about our national security. Oh, people of the United States can't know about any of this because maybe they get into the wrong crowd and disclose some of it. That's fair. That's fair. But I want to know that all the tax dollars that I've paid for the last, I don't know, 12, 13 years hasn't gone to killing other human beings that could be resolved with world leaders fighting it out in a fucking octagon. I mean, just think of it. If I have a problem, let's say I have a problem with my neighbor. I have 10 kids in the house. I look at my 10 kids, I'm like, and he's got 5 kids at his house. Do you think him and I are going to get on the phone together and be like, hey, I'm going to give my kids some weapons, you give your kids some weapons, and let's declare war? No, because I value my children and the people that I represent, right? Just throwing you a bone. No, I'm going to get the fuck out there. He's going to get the fuck out there. And we're going to resolve it like men. However possible. Right? Now, I'm the type of person that has decent amount of common sense and emotional control most of the time, to where I'm going to try to de-escalate things as much as possible and compromise a little bit. Not all the way, but a little bit. Just enough to where we can go about our day and be grown-ass motherfuckers and get along as much as possible. Right? Okay. So why is it that when you have any type of governing body, that the leaders can't go out and resolve these issues by themselves? I thought about it a lot. And, some people would say, well, the leader is smarter than everybody. No, I don't believe that. I believe that there are probably at least 1 million in this country that are smarter than Donald J. Trump or any of the other past leaders. I believe that 100%. Am I? Probably not. But I'm able to put a thought process together in my head and think reasonably about the issues at hand. I think we should just step back. And this will never happen, by the way, because there's millions, could be billions of dollars to be made. Well, how are they going to make money, you might ask? Well, all the news coverage, all the advertisements, all the money laundering that will be kicked from our federal government to big, what are those? The corporations, obviously, but DoD contractors, corporations, and then some of that money will be kicked back to whoever said, yeah, let's do this, I mean, millions, probably billions of dollars to be made. Hell, they might even say, look, we're going to have to sit Congress down and go ahead and steal more money from the American people and just print inflation. Watch that shit fucking go crazy. Ever think of that? we've expanded our budget a good amount of times already. Just since I've been paying attention since Biden got in. And I just want to touch briefly on that because the night I was working 12 hours a day in a petrochemical refinery. So I got home at like 7 o'clock p.m. and then like checked the news or whatever and seen that Trump had a nice lead. Went to bed, woke up, didn't check anything because I was like, oh yeah, it's good. He got it. I was in the middle of my shift and I was on break, eating my lunch, checked my phone, and my old lady texted me and said, Biden's ahead. I'm like, what the fuck? Hey, I don't know. Not saying that Trump would have done a better job. I mean, look at what he's done now. I would say I really didn't pay attention to his first term because I really wasn't, like, I just wasn't in it. I was working a lot. I didn't really care anything about all this shit. I don't know how good or bad of a job he did, but I knew at the time I was making good money and my life was good. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, the only reason that we're going to be in this is for profit, in my opinion. And the fact that we're potentially, depending on how this goes, either way it goes, I think there's going to be tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, potentially maybe even millions of people that are deceased at the end of this. And these are all people that are civilians. A lot of them are civilians on their side. Just like in Afghanistan, a lot of civilian casualties, whether that's through bombing or IEDs or whatever have you, however it happened, it happened. Soldiers, a lot of them, and these are potential future leaders that are dying too. And not only that, but believe it or not, there are some people that are just good people. It happens. I try to be. Not saying I am, but I try to be. And I make a conscious effort in doing so. But, yeah, a lot of millions of people that are going to end up dead because of greed and ego. Now, when I seen on the news, or I watched some YouTube, which was, news, whether it was NBC, CNN, who gives a shit, it was like there were cars flooding out of this area. And I'm like, if, let's say, in my small town or whatever that I live in, there were a bomb or two has went off. Okay. And what would I do? Well, what I would do is get in my community and say, hey, why is this happening? Somebody would tell me. And I'd be like, well, whoever's leading us, let's go get the motherfucker. And drag them over to whoever the fuck they have a problem with. And be like, here you go. There he is, right there. Right there for you. Because evidently, the person that made all this happen has such a huge fucking ego and couldn't have any type of compromising or anything like that, to where it's now affecting me and my family's safety. And that's going to do one thing. That's going to piss me off. And probably a lot of other people. So why is everybody fucking fleeing? And I think this is what I like to call that big psychological thing. They don't have any power. Yeah, they do. It's called everybody. If you were in a room with them I don't know if I have like a mental problem or something, but even when, our big CEO of the company came in, I acted no different ever. Because I just seen, oh, that guy wakes up in the morning, probably rubs one out, and puts his pants on the same way that I do. And takes a shit. And probably slams his nuts in the toilet seat, just like I do. Yeah. Because that's exactly how everybody else in the world. Everybody breathes, everybody shits, everybody eats, everybody drinks, everybody sleeps. We're all doing the same thing. Just some people have it a little bit more comfortable than the others. Now, with why this is going on, maybe one of them is oppressing the other one. Okay. All right. So, now, hear me out. If I was a country and I was a leader of said country, it is 100%, in my opinion, the leader's fault that that type of shit is happening to that community. I'm just saying. Because as a leader, you should make sure that either you know all the shit that's going on, right? Hey, we're getting bullied by so and so. How do we fix this issue? Maybe I'll try contacting them. Hey, quit bullying us. That's a negative? Okay. Now what can we do? Let's get some type of defenses. Let's get some type of whatever. And if I can't figure out the fucking issue within a couple weeks, maybe a month, I need to step down as a leader. Right? Put somebody in there that's smarter than me and can figure it the fuck out. Absolutely. Just saying. So when Iran is getting attacked, I'm going to be comfortable saying this sentence or these groups of words real quick. It is 100% their leader's fault that they are getting attacked. Right? At the end, we'll find out. We'll find out. But it is. Not only that, but it is 100% Israel's problem that they engaged with Iran. And that's a fact. So instead of having your children fight your battle, be a fucking man, go over there and resolve the issue. Now, whether it's your own conscious decision between those two men to have some type of however they got to resolve it, they're the leaders. They resolve it. Just my thought process. Like I said earlier, if I had a problem with my neighbor, I'm not sending my kids to go fight their kids. I'm going to go over there and do what I have to do. And do it in a way that results in the least amount of suffering possible for the most amount of people involved. Yeah. It's called common fucking sense. And why do we need to get involved in any way? Now that I kind of broke that down. Does it benefit any of us? No. We already have defenses. We could, if they were to even, send a nuke or whatever, I don't know what they have. Like I said, I'm not educated in all the shit. But if they were to do something like Pearl Harbor, you'll have the Hiroshima Nagasaki happen. I guarantee it. Which would be on who? Their leader for having such a big ego to come and fuck with the giant. You know what I mean? And I do think that is a very wise idea for every citizen that can legally do so to carry a firearm. Why? Well, I've never had to use it. But I've also seen a lot of shit. I live in a pretty rough neighborhood. And that's a just in case. Why do I feel like it's a good idea that we have nukes? I don't think we should ever use them, for the most part. Just in case, as a tool. I heard Trump say one time, if I was president, now I'm trying to quote him, but I don't have the quote or anything, but he more or less said if he was president, that the Ukraine and Russia war would have never happened. And then I've heard him say a couple times that he wants nothing more than peace, right? But yet, we're going to go back another country. We've been sending them, oh, this is 5D chess, this is 5D chess. No, what's becoming more and more as a coincidence, you're only going to have so many of those before, like, if a police officer were investigating me over something and it just so happened I was there, had another oopsie poopsie there. I made a comment on a YouTube video the other day and made a comment something along the lines of, I don't know who our president is, but it's not Donald J. Trump. And you might ask, why do you not think that? Let's say you're in your work area, whatever, okay? And your boss came in there and told you, let's say it's 1980 or so, or 90 or whatever. Hey, a law just passed, we can't smoke inside. No more smoking inside, effective immediately. Will you see the person to your right or left or even yourself light up a cigarette right then and there? No. Maybe like a couple weeks later, you'll probably find somebody sneaking it, like behind a machine or something or wherever, trying to sneak it, just smoking back there, just whatever. Yeah, you'll see that. But when he's right there, no. And it is effective immediately, and they will type something out that states it in its code of conduct, rules, laws, whatever. So, like, what I'm trying to get at here is, when the boss says something, it happens, right? So, the boss could have said, I see no reason for us to get involved. Or, as soon as he took office, you're fired, prison, you're fired, prison, you're fired. Which would have been draining the swamp, right? Probably. That would be my assumption. Oh, let's get this Epstein a year later, only half of it's out, most of it redacted. And not just victims, more. Unacceptable. There is a certain amount of unacceptability, and we have passed the point of that in which we do accept. And zero accountability for certain people, but full accountability for others. And in some parts of the United States, I do research, people are beating up their wives and children at home. They go to jail over the weekend. They see a judge. $250 cognitive bond or whatever the fuck it's called. They pay bondsmen $25, they're out. I see some people DWI, vehicular manslaughter, and get 4 or 5 years. Maybe they're off-duty police officer, or maybe a pillar of the community, get 4 or 5 years. Another person kills another person with a hammer, and they get 50, 40 years, no possibility of parole. Life, maybe, the sentence. Why? I just don't understand these types of things. Why is it, if I stand right here, I could legally smoke a marijuana cigarette, but if I go literally just across the state line right here, or whatever, I get 5 to 10 if I'm caught with paraphernalia. I don't get it. So if you're at a certain location, you could do certain crimes. If you're at a different location, it's acceptable. And I think that's intentionally done. Why? Because people have different moral compasses, people have different perspectives on things. Like, maybe a lot of people watching this video, or if anybody ever watches it, doesn't matter to me, maybe they think everything I'm saying, I'm a dumbass. I'm fine with that. I don't have to see the world in your perspective. You don't have to see it in mine. But one thing that is clear to me is that's accepted in our country because of one thing, and that's going to be, in my opinion, just more division. And you might ask yourself, why? Well, I'm in Ohio. I watch stuff happen in, say, California or whatever. I watch stuff happen over there, and that makes me emotional sometimes. Maybe sad, maybe angry. Generally not in a positive way. Or like all the stuff that happens in Minnesota. Still same thing. And then they publicize, hey, this is Democrat, 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 trying to like brainwash you, saying these same things over and 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 over again. So, I think, and when they publicize the State of the Union, you've seen the certain people sitting down, the other ones getting leg workouts all day. It looked like it was just a squat simulator in there, because it was just sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up, sit down, stand up. I bet half them motherfuckers couldn't walk the next day. Well, maybe the Democrats probably didn't have such a rough time because they did it like twice, I think, or some shit like that. But yeah, I don't know why Erica Kirk was invited to that. Just another opinion, because just my in my opinion, the only people that should really be there are people that are leaders of this country. And I don't think in any way that lady should ever become one or is one, based off of everything that I've learned and or seen her do through her words and actions. And actions do speak a lot louder than words. But yeah, I don't think we should be fighting for our dad when, or I guess we're kind of like the uncle, or well, it's still our dad, but no, our grandpa. I don't think we should be fighting for our grandpa because I feel like Israel is our dad. Uh, Donald J. Trump takes orders from Israel because Israel has shit on, I would assume, so many people in our country. Maybe their intelligence was better than ours. Maybe we have the best, you know, bronze in the world, but maybe Israel has the most brains in the world. Could be. Really, really could be. Because if you talk to any amount of people, you'll probably quickly come to the conclusion that there are a lot of stupid, dumb motherfuckers in this world. Dumbasses. And I think there's a lot that goes into that. I really do. Because if Israel was smarter than us at the beginning and got all this shit figured out, got shit on everybody pretty much right off the jump, or let's say like 1900 on, which probably is not far off, they effectively run our country and have been for last century or so. I think probably. And effectively, us, the American people, peasants that we are, we work for Israel. That's why I think the taxation was kept, it was implemented, supposedly, 1913 for the war. And they just kept her going and kept her going and sent money and sent money and sent money and sent money. Resources, money, people's time, people's effort. And why do you think everybody here, I don't know, you can't afford health care? Why? Why would another country not want you to be able to afford health care? Why would another country want you to not be able to get psychological help? Why would another country want you to be obese? Why would another country not want you to get a good education? Have you read older books? Talk to older people? They're just like, wow, this next generation, holy shit. I'm fucking 3 generations down from a couple of them that I still communicate with. I'm like, these people got it. Like they at least had some inkling of, hey, I need to try to at least be a little bit smart or something. Because you could have a conversation with them. They could tell you about shit. You could talk to them about like math, science, fucking history, English, whatever. Any of them, they have a pretty good grasp. They may not, be particularly good at one of them, but they'll have a decent enough grasp on all of them to be able to navigate the world in a way that makes sense, using common sense. And a lot of people you talk to nowadays, it's just they only look at something in one way because they heard it on the internet from a popular influencer that's paid to say these things and given enough capital and resources to be able to have a team to be able to come up with the best way of relaying that information to you as possible. Me, I'm just one neckbeard dumbass sitting in front of a fucking $20 on brand Walmart webcam and a probably $25 or $30 fucking crappy ass headset with a shitboy mic on it, just talking about what I think. And sure, some of these things might align a little bit with popular influencers. Could be. But I thought about some of the different ways of going about things. And the ways that I thought about going about things are going to effectively do as little suffering for the most amount of people as possible. You know what I mean? AKA, if we get involved, which I'm sure we already are. I haven't looked at a lot of on it. It's just I've seen a couple bombs or whatever blow up. Whose they were, I didn't get that information. I don't know. But, or if any of the information that we are given is correct, who knows anymore. But if we didn't get involved, it would be one country battling, the better of them win. Populations over here get affected, populations over here get affected. Tribes battle in South America all the time. Do we go in and wipe one tribe out? No. Why? Because we don't gain anything from that. You know what I mean? It's one group of people that are winning. Like I said in other videos, it goes like this for mega corporations and government. For the people, it goes like this. It's a net loss. Because no matter what they say, if we don't have any casualties over this, there will still be psychological casualty. It'll be detrimental to a great deal of people psychologically, at least. Just saying. But if we're going to get involved, so we're going to get involved and support this other country, that meaning we're going to triangulate on Israel, meaning as much destruction, as much death, as much bad stuff happening in that one area as humanly possible. As quickly as possible, I would imagine. And that's what we've been doing for fucking ever. Because of Daddy Israel, I think, anyway. Because a lot of the shit doesn't make any fucking sense to me. It really doesn't. Like I said, imagine Israel and Iran as two small tribes in Africa that have no telecommunication out of it at all or anything. And it's 150 people against 150 people or whatever. Would we get involved? No. Why? And some would say, oh, NATO. NATO this, NATO that. NATO this, NATO that. We've already done more than our fair share by giving these people potentially, I don't have any evidence or receipts or math on this, but trillions and trillions of dollars over the last century. We did more than enough. There's no involvement that we need to get in on this. And it's not because of their religion or their race or anything like that. No. It's that we just there's no point. Imagine if, I don't know, Russia invaded the United States tomorrow. And this Iran thing and all that shit wasn't going on. How much do you think Israel would help us? You think maybe they would help us by giving Trump a new jet? A new Air Force One? Probably. Something like that. Do you think they would give us half their military? Half their stockpiles of ammunition, weapons of any type? You know, tanks, planes, bombas, ammo, artillery. You think that would happen? I don't think so. So what is the United States really? Are we like if I don't know how old you need to be to understand this reference, but the movie 300, The Spartans, where essentially it was just a town, country, whatever you want to call it, that just bred warriors. Is that what we are? And a cash cow for these other countries, such as Ukraine, Israel, wherever else we send money to. Because money is a psychological thing too. It has no inherent value besides what somebody says that it has. But it does represent one thing. Because most of us get paid in American currency for the work and time that we put in at our company. So, essentially, you produce goods and services. This imaginary thing comes in that represents the amount of goods and services that you produce, but that's a lie as well, because if that actually represented the amounts of goods and services that you produced, then you would more than likely be a multi-millionaire, because mega corporations devalue your work so much that you get not even pennies on the dollar, like a half a penny on that dollar. It's a fraction of a percent that you make the company annually. And then the government comes in, takes half of that, and then sends it overseas. or wherever. Resources. Lives. I mean, once you start putting like all this shit together and actually develop a conscious painting of what's actually going on here in the United States, like I said, why do you think they want you unhealthy? You can't afford health care. Most people can't. I see videos all the time of people getting put in an ambulance and they're like, no, I don't want to go. Their fucking arms like all mangled and shit. I don't want to go. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Can you afford housing? When you go to the grocery store, are you happy when you walk out? You feel like you got a good deal? Your credit score. Oh, you got this phenomenal credit score thing. Capitalism works. It does. For 1% of the people. Probably less than that, actually. But for about, let's call it 1%. 1% of the people, it does work. Like when you, let's say, I'm older or whatever. Whatever. I know. Let's say you went to work, you're making $10 an hour. You work for 8 hours. You get $80 that day. How good would you feel? Mind you, whether it's sales tax and all the other taxes, fees, property tax, registration, permits, whatever the fuck else. Now, take half that, and that goes to the Fed. You're left with $40. How good would you? How good do you feel? Meanwhile, that corporation that you just walked out of, you made them $30,000, $50,000, sometimes $100,000 a day, just by stamping that card, and they're gonna get pissed at you if you get an extra 15 minutes that was not accepted by some upstairs. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Everything for corporations, mega corporations, or just any corporations, mainly the bigger ones that are essentially running illegal monopolies in government, everything's great for them. And for you, the U.S. citizen, everything's fucking terrible for it. Anything and everything that happens. When you start putting all these pieces together, you'll come to the same conclusion that I came to. Who does it benefit for us to get involved with Israel on this? It's not you. It's not me. It's not you. It's not me. And when a leader becomes so embezzled in power and selfish thoughts, and they're we had another oopsie poopsie. I watched it. But when they're narcissistic sociopath and they become essentially greedy in anything, whatever we have to do to save the government and not the people that we lead, we need to screw them down as hard as possible. Make things as catastrophic as we can at home for them and their kids and family. There needs to be some type of change, I feel. In a governing body, which, you know, you got like the president, You have, the Congress and Department of Justice. You got like our different police forces, and then you got these guys on the side, like the I had to bring CIA and the FBI. Oh, if we do anything over here, these two government agencies will come investigate us, but they're all on the same hand of government. It investigates itself. And psyops on us, we the people, all the time. Look at the fucking Charlie Kirk thing. It will come out. It will. I don't know when, but it will come out that guy on that roof, he didn't fucking shoot him. No. And another thing I want to add on that is, you remember that guy that brought a he kind of concealed it under his coat. It was like, I don't really know. But he had the gun on him, and he was in Minnesota during the riots, right? Or demonstration, or whatever you want to call it. Okay. They only showed, like, the points they wanted to show you. Am I correct? Especially on mainstream media and the news, right? They only showed that short segment of him trying to help the girl up. The police tackled him. One disarmed him or whatever, and then they just started shooting. But when you watch the entirety of everything that happened on that, things start looking a little different, don't they? And that's what really got my mind turning when they started showing the image of him on top of the roof from that one building. They didn't show him taking the shot. They showed him pretty much like as he was literally in stride running away. Why do you think that is? He took the gun apart. You can't do that. You can. It's not practical, though. I know long range shooters that, and this is bolt action, that will open the slide, have their ammo sitting on the side, put one in, close the bolt. And if I was going to go do this type of thing, I would, one, be so comfortable with my knowledge, and it would take decades for me to get to that point. So this was not some 22-year-old kid anyway. But I would not bring a bolt action and be doing that. So more than likely, if he did even have this bolt action, there's an internal box magazine on that. And more than likely, he would open it up, put all the rounds in that would fit, and then probably throw one in the chamber or whatever, rack one, however the fuck you could do it. Get as many bullets in the rifle as you can. And then take the shot. And then because there's other videos, as soon as the shot broke, like, you just seen this guy run. Right? So it is not possible, even if he was super, the Flash, taking this thing apart, as soon as he took the barrel off of the chassis of the firearm, that internal box magazine has a spring in it, and it's going to fling all the fucking bullets. That would take time for him to pick up, too. Because there's nothing that stated that there were bullets recovered on the roof, so he would have had to pick those up, too. Nope, that doesn't add up. 308 or the 30-06 in the neck, that doesn't add up. Nothing adds up on that. the guy turning around and cheering in the direct, that doesn't add up. The guy walking away, that doesn't add up. The body language of Erica Kurt, that doesn't add up. You wanna know why none of these things add up? It's because it is our government that is psychologically manipulating you, me, everybody. I'm just telling you things I observe. The way they word shit. Look into that. Maybe watch a couple videos on like lawyers speak and how they try to manipulate situations with certain types of wording. Like, for example, just a quick example. McDonald's, it might not be 100% what I'm saying, but it's something along these lines. McDonald's has a company called like natural beef or all natural beef or some shit like that. And in the ingredients, it's all natural beef. But in the, or some shit like that. I don't fucking know. But it's kind of like that. You know what I mean? They'll make these statements and shit and whatever else, and I pick them out all the time. But I'm like, oh, why did they word it like that? There's thousands and thousands of different words in the, human or English language. Why would you word it? Ask yourself that when they start speaking. Why would you word it like that? Yep. I don't know. I just know I always ask myself this, what are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? This guy has continuously lied to us, meaning our president. There will be no wars. No, dog. No, dog. We just assisted. There was technically not a war. Just imagine that. You're just sitting in your house with your kids, if you have any. Let's say you're a little younger. You have pets. Innocent. They don't know anything about shit going on in the world. If you have kids, their main focus is, hey, what am I gonna probably have for dinner, and who am I gonna play with tomorrow outside? Whose house am I gonna stay at this weekend? What video game do I want to play? Innocent shit. Just imagine like a tomahawk missile just boom right through the fucking roof. Instant. Everything's vaporized. Gone. That's what's happening. Seriously. That's what's happened in the past. If nothing changes, that's what's going to happen in the future. I may actually do some digging on the internet. And who created war? Is that the only way to resolve a conflict? Through millions of people? Is lots of people either being psychologically damaged, physically damaged, or being unalived through very violent acts. I want to close on this. I myself have been incarcerated plenty of times. Okay? Not what the world would see as the best human being. And I have been in when I was younger, plenty of physical altercations. And 99% of the time when I go outside, I will carry a firearm with me. And there are what I would perceive on just my subjective experience and viewing two types of people when they do carry a firearm. There's going to be the type of person that may be younger, maybe older, maybe shouldn't have one, I don't know. It's going to be the type of person that's going to try to find all the conflict that they can. Me, I'm running. As soon. Now, there's a lot of variables in that. But if I see somebody coming up to me trying to press me or some shit like that, I'm getting the fuck out of Dodge. I'm going to try my best to de-escalate. I will not engage them in any type of conversation, body language, eye contact, physical, anything, nothing. And I'm running for the hills. Why? Well, because if I sat there and persisted that my ego was so macho or needed to be respected more than theirs, and I pulled that gun out, and let's say I was on my property and stand your ground law and whatever else, and they charged me with whatever, a knife, a bat, maybe their fist, they're 3 times my size, I don't know, and I shot them, effectively 2 people lose their life. You know what I mean? Because maybe he doesn't make it. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. Either way, maybe I can get sued down the road. I'm still going to have to be dragged through the mud on the judicial system for probably years. Money, psychological shit, death threats from the family probably. Years and years of agony over my ego. Nah. I run from the hills that one time, that one day. Maybe somebody else sees it, neighbor of mine or whatever, and says, "You ran like a little bitch." Okay. And maybe they keep on at it for like a week, and I just say, okay. And maybe they stay at it for a month. All right. And everything past that point when they stop, or maybe it gets so bad to where I gotta do a restraining order, take the legal route, whatever. But everything after that point is nothing more than a fucking miracle and a blessing. Because I'm hundreds of thousands of dollars richer. I still keep my freedom. Don't have any of the psychological shit that came with harming another human being, watching them bleed out. Some states are say, hey, if you shoot somebody, you pretty much have to either call 911 or render them first aid or whatever. And there's shit, malpractice or whatever, you can get sued for that too. It's just, it ain't worth your fucking time. It's not worth your time. And like I said right there, it's just like the United States. It's not worth our time. None of it is. For the thousands of soldiers that could potentially be put at risk, and or the psychological hurt for this, or you know, they're character being when they come back home, probably, maybe, half of the United States is pissed off at them. I won't be. Because I know whose fault it is. There's only one party at fault here. Promise you that. And that's going to be their leaders. Or maybe, just let me know, I'm so naive that I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Maybe you're right, maybe I'm wrong. I'll reply to it. Maybe you've seen it in a different way than I have. Could be. Probably. Probably do. Probably do. But you know what I gotta say to you? These leaders, if you bring up any type of constructive criticism to these types of people, the narcissistic, sociopath, disingenuous parasites that lead us, they're going to ask you one question. You know what that question's going to be? Hey, bud, do you have a straw? You're going to be like, a straw for what? So you could suck my ass. Get fucked, kid. And then they're going to walk off. And if they don't say that out loud to you, pretty sure they're thinking something along the lines of that. But I got shit I gotta do today, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm off the fucking internet for a little bit.